Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Excuse my appearance, excuse my looks. I just want to say, whoever just subscribed, show yourself, let me know, because you are the 150th subscriber. I'm so excited. I've been wanting 150. Let's go for 200. But please let me know, whoever just subscribed. I don't know what time it is. What time is it? Oh, my dear. 4:15, I believe. I'm a little more peppy since the last video. I took some kratom, some more kratom. Yeah, it's 4:15 on Tuesday, September something, the day after Labor Day. Please let me know if you subscribed today, because I had 149 earlier, now I have 150. Hey, I just thought of something. Today's my anniversary from getting off all kinds of medication. I went in, here's the deal, oh God, now I'm going to be here for a longer time than I ever anticipated. I really did think this was going to be super fast. Maybe I should pause and go put a hat on. Hold on, be right back. I'm back. Isn't that exciting now that I know how to pause? Anyhow, yeah, years ago I was prescribed an insane amount of painkillers for this condition that I have. Hold on, I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you saw my last video, I mentioned my burning crotch. It's called pudendal neuralgia. It's pain along the pudendal nerve. Unfortunately, it's permanent. It manifests itself on the pelvic floor, and it's not a pretty scene, okay? It hurts, like a burning. So, over the years, I've been prescribed things. And toward the end of my major, like, I would go off things on my own at home, because oftentimes it was like a time-release opiate, and then what they call breakthrough opiate, and all this stuff. And I was prescribed, like, that methadone and stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That was the worst. I didn't know anything about withdrawing. I just casually went off them. And they have a half-life that, like, it doesn't hit you that it's left your body until a couple days later, a day and a half later. And I started suffering. Oh, it was awful. Perpetual almost stayed back from work to babysit me, but we called a friend of mine named Judy DeVoge. And, oh, there's my shirt, Lisa's Rants and Raves Community News. She came over and took care of me because I didn't know what was going on then. I thought, my God, I'm highly depressed or something. I was shivering and rocking back and forth and sweating and then freezing, and anybody who's ever gone off opiates can relate. Okay, so that happened, and then I was still on something though. And so when it got to the point where I didn't have like a breakthrough pill anymore, you know, I wanted to get off, I thought, by God, I'm not going to be withdrawing at home, because I'd done it like 3 times for medications that didn't work for me. So I decided I better go in to the official like detox center. And there is a difference. I'd like you to look this up, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a misconception about this. There's a difference between addiction and physical dependency. It's a fine line. You're going to have the same withdrawal symptoms no matter what, if you're an addict or if you're just having the physical withdrawal symptoms, which is physical dependency. Anybody who takes these for any extended amount of time is going to be physically dependent on them. Almost like coffee, but like way worse. You know, if you're a coffee drinker, and then you decide, speaking of which, not to drink coffee, you get kind of sick, headache, whatever. Your body gets used to certain things, is my point, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's basically what happens. But it's a real tough hold that it has over you. So I did not cross the threshold to addiction. But nonetheless, I suffered miserably. So, in fact, they wouldn't keep me in that place for 30 days, which I wanted to be. Because I wasn't addicted, I was physically dependent, and so they threw me out in 5 days. Okay, so I decided, this is when I was prescribed 270 milligrams of pure oxycodone per day, plus Zoloft, and, oh my God, I can see it in my mind, I can't remember what it's called. It's an anti-anxiety, it's very popular. I can't remember the name of it. But it's very potent, and that's another thing you have to be real careful going off of those. So, I went ahead and it was the day after Labor Day 2013, and so I went in and got completely cleansed off all that stuff. It was a rough trip, it was a hard trip. Not in there, because they give you medicine to make up for the withdrawals. It was really kind of a beautiful experience. But because I got thrown out early, you know, my mom took care of me. She came and got me, and we just followed along. Like, they sent me home with medication and things like, things that help you not to have seizures and things when you go off of other medication suddenly. So, yeah, I stayed with her, and then Around September 21st, I started vomiting and having diarrhea, something horrible. And I was awfully thin then. I mean, my God, I was too thin. I wish I could say that now, but anyhow, I got down to like 140, and for me, that's too thin. 150 is good for me, to 155, even 160. And so, you know, it wasn't a good scene. I looked pretty bad. And then I, you know, was having the vomiting and diarrhea, and I'm wondering, why is this going on? Why is this going on? Ladies and gentlemen, because I had been through, you know, that part of the withdrawal symptom usually happens early on, and I'd been hospitalized during that. Well, here, didn't realize, but I had a massive kidney infection. Really bad, so I had to be hospitalized in Greenville, Pennsylvania for, I think it was 3 days and 2 nights. The doctor said, you're very sick. This is exactly where you need to be. Very good facility there, I have to say. So, it was a very rough time. Septembers are usually kind of bad for me, but not this year. Maybe, and I'm just going to, you know, how you make your own destiny or whatever. I'm just going to go with that. It's not going to be a bad September. It's a good September. Other than, you know, have some pain, but that's nothing I can't handle. So, I guess it's my 4-year anniversary. However, after 2 years, I'll just go ahead and tell you the saga, because it might help people. That's my point, is to help people. After 2 years of being off all the pain relief, my life wasn't super good. Like, I was in pain. I was in total pain. And this particular pain is very odd and very, you know, it's just not pleasant like any pain is. But, you know, for men, imagine a blowtorch being put to your testicle. For women, imagine a burning at the entrance of your vaginal entrance on the one side. That's how this thing works. So, I went back and I got on low doses of oxycodone again for a year. But the pain clinician got upset because I was trying kratom, which is a natural remedy, ladies and gentlemen. Go to Google or your favorite search engine, type in kratom 101, and you can learn all about it. And so I mentioned this to her, and at that time they were going to try to make it illegal, and how I was trying that, but you know, if they made it illegal, that I was going to have to get a little bit stronger medicine or be prescribed more per day or something like that. And they didn't, you know, she didn't like it, so they actually got rid of me for the kratom. She told me the kratom was a red flag. I'm sure. A natural remedy, but of course, you know, this is a pain clinician who is in bed with Big Pharma. I mean, there's no question about it now. I just didn't realize all the connections back then. So I guess actually the fact that she got rid of me was probably the best thing that ever happened, because we signed petitions and we, you know, got it so the kratom wasn't going to be scheduled, and that's now what I use. I'm off all kinds of stuff. I did go back on, or like when she got rid of me, I went to a doctor who helped me. It was a nurse practitioner. She actually helped me in terms of, well, I went to a pelvic floor therapist in Erie for actual physical therapy, and then, you know, I can do those exercises here at home. And then the nurse practitioner, very sweet woman, she helped me to appropriately wean off the medication. So I went from, I think, 10 milligrams twice a day or something, and then for a while, and then I forget how it worked, ladies and gentlemen. It's been, you know, almost a year again. So that is the story, and I'm sticking to it in terms of the opiates. But what makes me upset, and I would still go to bat for anybody who want me to, I had to go I had to actually, excuse me, I had to have meetings with governmental officials to explain to them that this war on opiates, and mind you, our military guards the poppy fields over in Afghanistan, the main ingredient in opiates as well as heroin. Yet there's a crisis, and by the way, there's hedge funds that profit. They're heavily involved in these rehab centers. It's all a big, vicious circle of insanity, of dazed and confused insanity. Anyhow, there are some people that have legitimate pain that need that medication, that can't buy kratom. My brother buys it for me, or perpetual. It's not super cheap because I have to kind of get bulk. So for those people, they need to be on some sort of time release. All I was really asking for from these yahoos was some sort of time release thing, you know, and then maybe a breakthrough pain thing, but that was too much. They don't want you asking for anything. You have to pretty much lie, and I don't lie to the doctor. I was always brutally honest with her, and got me, thrown out, which in the long run was a good thing, like I said. So, where was I? Kratom. Yeah, so that's just, that's what I take now, and I am glad to be done with it. I'm glad that nurse practitioner really took the time with me and all that. However, like I said in my previous video, I know what I was saying, government officials, I had to go to them and explain, look, there are people with legitimate pain being kicked out of pain clinics all across Pennsylvania. Some people that were in way worse shape than I ever dreamed of, ladies and gentlemen. Like, one fellow broke his back and had discs bulging and hernias hanging and all this jazz, and he was turned away and he wasn't abusing anything. So, but it turns out really those are only made for like 6 months, the pain relievers. Nonetheless, there are people that have legitimate pain that cannot do the alternative route for reasons of financial instability or whatever the case may be. I couldn't do it if it weren't for my brother in Perpetual and my mom. Mom's helped me. That really need something, and also they won't allow you to take the marijuana that's prescribed, the medical grade. You have to, a lot of the veterans and things have to choose between marijuana and opiates when they could use both of them. It's a real shame. So anyhow, I had to go to government officials to kind of plead my case and figure out what the heck. And I have to say they were very good. Got me in touch with doctors and stuff. But then in the meantime, the kratom, they decided to leave it legal. In some states it is not legal, but it is here in PA. And so that's what I use now. However, it wouldn't hurt to have a small prescription on hand for every now and again. Like days like this when the kratom isn't really lasting as long as it should or what have you. To be able to take a time-released opiate, maybe even 5 a month. But no, we can't do that at all. So there's days I just gotta suffer. And I guess that's all. Good land, 11 minutes and 56 seconds. But I thought I should maybe impart that story about, there's a difference between physical dependency and addiction. However, the withdrawal symptoms manifest in the same way, except in the addict, it's mind. They'll do anything to get the drug, and those who are physically dependent just suffer, and they don't want to go get the drug. Sometimes you do. It's pretty bad, but I mean, it's not... You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Lounging with Lisa, the video series, and as me lounging while coming at you thoughts of the day. Please join together with me, join together with others, drop your political identities, and let's leave labels at the door.